Hello fellow YouTubers and information security professionals. Today I'm going to be doing another video on open source intelligence gathering with an emphasis on corporate espionage. That's open source intelligence gathering, also known as OSINT. And today I'm going to put emphasis on creating a paper trail. Here's my contact info, and as always there's a precise definition of what open source intelligence is. So, corporate espionage, also known as business intelligence. Why try to pool business filings? Because entities may have no electronic presence. It's very hard to gather reconnaissance on somebody that doesn't have a website, and the people within that organization might not even have registered emails. That's difficult to believe, but it is possible. And they might have no social media presence. It should not come as a shock to anybody watching this video that if somebody wants to find out something about you, the first thing they're going to do is check to see if you have any social media accounts. And for those of you who do have social media accounts but are very secure, there's a technique called, I highlighted it right here, chatterbox. And that's the person in your group that they're also going to search for, who tags everything, who comments on everything. That person can oftentimes have much more information on you than your profile does. Business filings lead to intelligence that's not gained by other means. And the filings are there. Now they can be layered. LLCs can purchase and own other LLCs, and there are some brilliant ways to obfuscate databases, but for the most part, it is there. I have here a list of tools that are rendered useless if an entity does not have any electronic presence. Maltego, Ping, Traceroute, Mmap, the Whois ICANN registry, the Whois function built into Linux. If you don't know those, don't feel bad, but those are typical open source tools. EXIF data, that comes with a lot of, that's the information that comes on a picture unless you adjust your privacy settings, such as the geolocation tags. Okay, so I'm going to use an example here in the state of Michigan through LoRa. That's the Licensing and Regulatory Affairs. And I'm going to use Michigan simply because I'm from Michigan, so this all makes a lot of sense to me. However, I will include links in the description to places in all 50 states where you could actually pull business filings. Here we're going to do Great Arbor Properties. That's just a company out here in Michigan that does rental properties, specifically in Washtenaw County, because we're a huge college county. First thing you're going to do is you could search by various means, but we're going to search by entity name. Now this is very important to remember when you're using the Michigan site. Always remember to scroll down and fill out this CAPTCHA. That can be very frustrating because it's not usually apparent on your screen. And that will take you to a screen like this. Great Arbor Properties, entity name. Sometimes multiple entity names can appear here because you might have a Great Arbor Properties Inc., Great Arbor Properties LLC, or something like that. So you would click on this, and this takes you to here, where you get quick information about that company. And we're going to want to scroll down to here where we can get valuable information about the registered agent. That's the agent that must be designated to receive legal documents. Must have an address in Michigan in the case of an LLC. What we're really interested though here is we're going to go to view filings for this business entity. And you can either view all the filings, you can come down to just annual reports. That's a statement that a company has to fill out with Michigan annually. You can just get the articles of incorporation. That's the initial articles that a company must file to do business in Michigan. Or you can just get stuff like change of ownership, change of registered agent, and whatnot. We're actually just going to go to view all filings. I'll show you what's there. That way you'd get an option for annual report. You get the certificate of change of registered office and a registered agent. And I'm actually going to pull up the articles of incorporation. So here's a photographic copy of the Articles of Incorporation for Great Arbor Properties. And it's usually these are 3 to 4 pages. There's the cover page there. And then there's the actual information on the company, how many shares they have, who the registered agent is, and so on and so forth. However, what we're really going to be obsessed with is we're going to be obsessed with what's at the top of this page right here. You see that? That is called the fax header. So this means this was faxed in, and all this information right up here is very valuable. So this paperwork was faxed from an entity that is Michigan Hospice. And as we can see over here, it was faxed in the 25th of January, 2013, and we even know the time, and we actually know the fax number. So let's look up the information then for Michigan Hospice. Again, we're going to go back to Laura, and we're going to look for Michigan Hospice. We're going to search by entity name, because we know the entity name. And can't forget this right here. So, okay, so several things are Michigan Hospice. Essentially, hospice just end-of-life care. And in the state of Michigan, you're going to have a lot of places calling themselves Michigan Hospice. Of course, we have the registered address here, so we're going to go for the one that's mentioned to be in Washtenaw County, and that's the 3820 Packard Street, 160 Ann Arbor, Michigan. We'd click on that, and that takes us back here where we get a quick info. Okay, so we see the same registered agent for the two companies. So that's the way they're connected. That might not be readily apparent had we not have reviewed the paperwork. And again, we have the choice to either view all filings, view the articles of incorporation, view changes. We're just going to go to view all filings. And that's going to give us this website here. And now let's check out the articles of incorporation for Michigan Hospice. So we see here that same name for the registered agent for the two businesses. We see that the name of the corporation is Michigan Hospice, and it intends to do business as Michigan Hospice. You'll note here that it actually has the same shares layout that Great Arbor Properties has. Of course, we get the registered agent here. This is an older document, the one we just looked at, so you might even actually get an address history with this. This is where you have an opportunity to really try to be detective, so to speak. You're actually doing forensics on these documents. You're examining everything for them, seeing where there's similarities of signature and such. Some of the things to look for are the fax header. Some things are stamps. Sometimes personal notes. You know, we've all had those times when we're sitting at our computer, we need to write something down. And if some people did that on these documents, then that's actually forever put up there with the state of Michigan for us to look at. And I have here is a note of business filings I was looking at for one entity, right? And here, these are two different fax headers that were associated with the paperwork. Sometimes they were faxed for this one address, sometimes they were faxed for the other. So this actually proved that 3 businesses were working in conjunction with each other. The importance of this is that, I want you to be able to create your own Panama Papers if you truly see there's a reason for it. I copied headlines here from when that happened. This proves that the paper trail still is and will always be a vital piece of evidence. So I hope this helps you out with that, and please check out my video next week where I teach you how to pull documents using Google operators. Thank you very much.